Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Namaste Wellness Show, where we talk about all things holistic health for the mind, body, and spirit with a touch of cultural soul. My name is Laura. I'm your host. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm going to be talking with a very special young lady who is an entrepreneur and a healthcare professional. She has a business in management as well as meditation, and she also sells a very special product called CMOS. So let me welcome to the podcast, Shanelle Johnson. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So, Shanelle, I'm really excited to have you on the show. And I just want to say, talk a little bit about the backstory here of how we met. We were both invited by a very special lady who has a business in the local area as well. And she invited us to both participate in a wellness event for young African-American athletes at a local public school. And I was there to teach the yoga class, and then you were there to do the meditation. And I was so impressed with you that I said, I got to have you on the show, on my podcast. So I'm really excited to have you here. Thank you for coming on.
I'm so excited.
Good. So let's just start by having you telling us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background and how you got into the wellness field, and tell us about your businesses before we actually get into the meat of today's show, which is focusing on meditation and how we can use CMOS for our health and wellness.
Okay. Well, first thing first, my name is Shanelle Johnson, and I am going to be 30 this year in August.
Oh,
yeah.
Yay. That's a little milestone.
I know. Super excited. So a little bit about myself. I like to give like interesting facts. So I have 35 nieces and nephews.
Okay.
I'm the youngest of it's 6 of us total. And I have no kids myself. So what got me into health and wellness, which is my Lillian's business. So Lillian is my middle name. And then my grandma name was Lily. And my mom middle name is Ann. And then you put them together and that's Lillian. So that was really the start of me creating the name, and then the actual portion that connects the CMOS. I was already taking CMOS. One of my friends, her name was Morgan, she had told me about CMOS, and this was right around the time COVID happened. Told me about it. I was like, oh my God, it has all of these benefits. So actually, I started taking it. It was right before COVID because we were still able to like meet up in person and everything. So I would say maybe like a year or so before COVID. So I started taking CMOS, and then I seen the benefits that I had, and that was it, rid the body of mucus. Like I had really bad sinuses, and they just really went away. Like I didn't have those issues anymore. So I was like, okay. But what really started me with the business, my dad, he had got sick with COVID, and this was in 2020. And around that time, my dad, at the time, he was 74. And during that time, they were ending up in like the ICU with the shortness of breath and his breathing. So I was able to actually send him up some CMOS. I also created like I made like a herbal tea with different herbs, elderberry, sea moss in it. So I created him like a wellness package, and one of the nurses allowed for us to send it up. And literally that night, his oxygen levels rose, and it was that quick.
Wow.
Quick. So even in that experience, he was able to go home maybe like 2 days later. So once I realized like, oh wow, like that really like it happened fast. I was like, I knew that it helped me, but to be able to help my dad in that situation, I literally, that was like December of 2020, and I started my LLC in January of 2021. So
Tell
from
me
there,
again, just, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you said so was it a combination of sea moss and what were the other? Uh,
so I make the elderberry tea. So with the elderberry tea, I had elderberry, mixed berries, mint, and then I used a little bit of agave in it.
so this was
And
a combination, this was a combination that you added to the sea
yeah,
moss?
well, so basically, so you have like, for example, the sea moss. So this is the sea moss gel where you just take 1 or 2 tablespoons of it daily. And then this is like an example of a drink. So this is my elderberry lemonade. So I took both
Got it.
up to him. Yep. So I took both for him to have there, because the elderberry helps with the overall immune system. And then I took the sea moss because I knew that it would help with his ridding the body of mucus, and that it would help with his oxygen levels. So to be able to get that experience, and I love to make sure I say, because I'm not a doctor just
Right.
yet, but research shows the benefits of sea moss and elderberry. It shows that it has 92 of the 102 minerals that your body needs. It shows that it rids the body of mucus. With elderberry, it shows that it helps with your immune system. So with me doing the research and understanding what these different herbs help with is how I was able to give it to him to actually see, well, how does it work? And it showed me how it worked. And from there, I created Lily Ann's.
Okay, so tell
Yeah.
us, what is sea moss? Where do you get it from? Or is it something that you make up?
No, so sea moss. So this is the original form of sea moss. This is the dry sea moss. So it actually
Can you
comes that.
describe it, since we will probably have listeners as well as possibly viewers? Can
Of
you
course,
just, yeah, it's a dried,
show you. So this is like a piece of sea moss here. You can
okay,
tell very, very dry. It's very,
oh,
very hard.
oh,
So when you soak this in water,
okay,
and it absorbs the water, and it becomes it when you hold it up, it's like, how can I explain it? It's it expands basically,
okay.
and it moisturized at that point. So, and it looked like it got kind of tentacles.
So
So
it's actually something that comes
I get
from,
directly from St. Lucia. So from it coming directly from St. Lucia, that's the direct source, coming from the Caribbeans at that point. They ship it over from the dry form. I turn it into a gel form by soaking it for about 24 to 48 hours. Once it soaks, you make sure you go through the cleaning process. And I clean my sea moss up to 3 times before I actually go through and blend it. And
wow,
then clean, I blend it, I add a little bit more water, and then it turns into a gel.
okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome. Okay, and then you actually buy the containers and then you fill the containers and that
correct.
type of thing. Okay. And you
Mhm.
sell it, right? So do you have a website, or how can someone purchase the sea moss from you?
I have a website. It's www.lilliansllc.com. So that's lilliansllc.com.
Okay.
On
And
there,
did you,
to actually like see all of my different items that I have. So on there, you'll be able to see the sea moss gel. I do flavors such as ginger and honey, as well as apple cinnamon. You'll be able to see the tea that I make, the elderberry tea that's on there. I'm actually in the process of uploading. I have a new product. It's my elderberry sea moss lemonade. I also have a ginger sea moss lemonade, and then I have a strawberry sea moss lemonade as well. So those will be uploaded. And then I also do shea butters, and I add sea moss into the shea butter. So with the shea butter, that helps a lot with the skin.
well, I did, yeah, I told you before we started the podcast here, my sister, she raves about sea moss, and I don't know, she buys it locally. I'm not exactly sure from who, but she raves that she uses it on her hair, her
Yep.
skin, and she
Mhm.
takes it by mouth. So your sea moss it sounds like the different flavors. Would you put all those different flavors on your hair and your skin or
Not
anything?
at all.
Okay.
So with the ones that I've explained, I wouldn't, but I do actually have a face mask that's on there that says face mask, but it can be used in multiple areas of the body as well as the hair. It has aloe, turmeric, and sea moss. So I personally use it on my hair. It helps to moisturize my hair. I would use that one, but the other ones with like the apple cinnamon and things like that, I
Mhm.
personally wouldn't. I haven't used it.
Those
And
are
I don't
that you can take by mouth. Even though they say, I guess anything that you can put in your mouth, you can put on your skin and your hair because your
yeah.
skin that's our largest organ of the body.
Mm.
So, but not to cut you off.
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay. So about how much your products run, and do you have different sizes? I know you have different flavors, but do you have different sizes and different pricing? How would the pricing go?
I do. So I have 2 week supplies, and that's so like this is an example of a 2 week supply. So
Mhm,
with this one, plain sea moss is 25, and
mhm.
then the flavor sea moss is 30.
Okay.
And with this one, that's 2 weeks. I also do this in a month supply,
Mhm.
and the plain is 40, and then the flavor is 45. I also have with the elderberry sea moss lemonade. So the individuals are 10, but I also do like the you get a 8 day supply for 70, and then you can get a 16-day supply. So I do the half gallons and the gallons. So with those, the gallon I believe is 150, I believe. And I'll send you over my whole chart of pricing as well. But those things are all going to be updated to my site too. And then majority of my prices range anywhere from 10 to about 45, $45 for if you just like grab and go. But if you want to look more like a bulk and large
Package. Yeah.
of them, the packages, that starts at about $70 and up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask a little bit about the lemonade that you put together. Is this something that you drink it, or is it like you take it by spoonfuls? Or
Drink it. So you drink it like it's a regular drink. And I
oh,
put it in. So this 8 ounce here is
mm.
a whole day supply of sea moss. So you have your daily dose of sea moss inside of this. You can drink the whole thing in that one setting.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So the drink itself is just like for one day. And then the
Yes.
sea moss is you have 2 week supply and month supply.
Yep.
So what size is that? I'm not actually seeing the size. What is the size of is that a 2 ounce jar or a 1 ounce jar?
This
Uh,
no, this is 8 ounces.
oh, so the 8 ounce is the 2 week supply.
Yep.
Okay. And then
Mhm.
that's the one. And how much would you take per day of that?
Take about 1 to 2 tablespoons.
1 to 2 tablespoons. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are there any like side effects or are there any contraindications for CMOS?
So to be honest, the biggest thing is like the iron. So
Mhm.
because it is heavy in iron as well, with it having all the minerals, you having too much iron, honestly, having too much of anything can cause issues. So that's why I make sure I let people know to take their daily dose. When I have like the lemonades, because some people might overindulge, but I let them know ahead of time, hey, this one 8 ounce container is your daily dose. And
So,
that's it. So for the people who buy like the gallons or the half gallons, they have the container so that they just fill the container up and that's your daily dose. If for my people who feel like they want to drink more than just this within a day,
mhm.
I don't do as much of the sea moss. So I basically cut the dose in half so
Mhm.
that then they can have two.
Oh,
But that a lot of times that be for some of my like special request people.
Okay. So,
Stop drinking.
so it's because it tastes so good, huh?
Yes.
So are we getting what health benefits would you say we're getting from the lemonade mixture? I'm calling it lemonade. Did I say it wrong? Please make
Lemonade.
sure you correct me if I misspeak at any time. No shame in my game. Make sure you correct me if I'm.
Right. Yeah. So with the elderberry sea moss lemonade, you get pretty much all the benefits that you would get from having sea moss because it has the 92 minerals. And then with it having the elderberry, and I use fresh elderberries, it also helps with your overall immune system too.
Okay, so you actually get fresh elderberries to make this? So
I
where do
sure
you get are they just sell them at the market or do you have to order them
I
online?
order, I order them. I order.
Online.
Yep.
Okay. So this is just fresh. These are fresh made specialty drinks then.
Yep. I squeeze the lemons, all of that.
Right. Okay, fresh and real lemons. Okay. All
Real
right.
lemon.
Well, that's good to know. Okay, that's important. Well, we know you get all the benefits that you would get from fresh lemons. We know that people use elderberry syrup all the time for upper respiratory support and protection, from colds and flus and I guess
Yeah.
COVID now, right? So
Yeah.
these are preventative types of products that we're talking about today,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so is there anything else we talked about? So I wouldn't think there are any contraindications for drinking the elderberry lemonade if you follow, you're just drinking 8 ounces a day. But
Mhm. I do always like to communicate with like if I have clients who do have like who have to regulate their sugar, just letting them know that even
makes
though
sense.
I don't add any additional like sugars, I use agave and I make sure I let them know ahead of time like, hey, it's agave in here. So that way
Check
they
with
can
your doctor to make sure if you have
they
any.
make sure they're checking their levels to make sure that it's not interfering with that. But outside of that,
Mhm.
it's all natural.
Mhm.
It's the agave, fresh lemons, and then the elderberry, or I use ginger for the ginger one. All fresh.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to place an order with you after our show because that sounds delicious to me and I love healthy products. So kudos to you and congratulations on being so entrepreneurial and supporting your dad as well as seeing the benefits of living a healthier lifestyle.
Yes.
So let's talk about maybe tell us a little bit about your management business. What kind of management business do you have?
So with my management business, it's called Wealthy Mindset Management. So with that, as of right now, I have multiple clients who I help with honestly different things. So like, for example, one of my clients, we host an event every Wednesday. It's an entrepreneurship event where we provide different type of resources for entrepreneurs. It's completely free. We have food at the event, and then each time we have a different person who comes to talk about whether it's grants, how to do taxes for your business, how to do social media for your business. We did one event where you were able to come and get some free headshots done. So it's multiple different type of events. This upcoming week we have it's a company called Motor City Match. It's a grant that's out there where they will match you however much you have to put towards your business, they'll match you that amount for you to whether you're trying to build a building for your business or expand on it, different things in that nature it can help with. And then outside of that, I also have another client who I help put on events. So different type of events like paint and sip events, helping to like manage their books. So it really depends. Each client is different. It depends on what additional assistance they need. It's almost like having a personal assistant who can help out with different things, making flyers. I
Okay.
make a lot of flyers for businesses as well. So yeah.
So do you do like social media for
Yep.
businesses as well? Okay.
So right now I'm running about one, two. About 3, and I have another one coming up, social media pages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I might need help with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is why, I wanted to bring you on is because, like I said, I'm very impressed. I'm always impressed with young entrepreneurs doing things that are positive for themselves as well as for the city. So all of your services are local in the Detroit, Michigan area, USA. Are any of these programs that you put on Wednesdays, do you have any online where if someone that's not in the local area, would they be able to come online and watch the networking event?
As of right now, no. So
Oh,
we are working towards becoming more virtual, but because of the expansion of a lot of different things and the grants that have come in, we have been recording each of them, but we're working towards figuring out how to go about putting them out there.
okay. Now, well, I'll ask again for a second time. Do you have like contact information about this particular event that you have on Wednesdays? And this is in the Detroit area, correct?
Yep. So every Wednesday we are at is Equity Alliance of Michigan, and the address is 6602 Walton Street, and that's Detroit, Michigan. And let me see what the zip code is. 1 second. The zip code is 48220.
Okay, so I just want to say that again. You said it's called the
Equity Alliance.
Equity Alliance of Michigan,
Yep.
6602 Walton, Walton Street
Yes.
in Detroit, Michigan, 48202.
Two, two, it's 210. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
210. Okay.
Yep, 210.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So, yeah. So, is there anything else you want to
Six
add
to,
about that? Okay.
yep, it's actually from 6 to 8.
Oh, from
That's
6 to 8 every
6 p.m. to every Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Okay, very good. So let's delve a little bit into what you do. Well, I will say this too. I did ask you, and you did agree, we're gonna let you come back on or ask you to come back on again and do a little vegan cooking demonstration for us
Yeah.
this time, right? Are you
Mhm.
still willing to do that? Because
Yeah.
I said you are also like a up and coming vegan chef
Yeah.
aficionado and etc. So I'm really looking forward to that because even though I'm not a vegan per se, I was a vegetarian for about 5 years, but I still ate dairy, milk and eggs products. But
Mhm.
my two stepdaughters actually they are both vegans, and I'm very proud and amazed that they're hanging in there. So you might be also, I'm sure about Tabitha Brown. She's all the rage and in our community and everything. So they follow a lot of her work. And actually, I bought her book. I think she has a new book out on as well too. So I don't know if you want to touch a little bit on vegan, what you do in the vegan cooking world, or if you want to save that for another time or
So we could
to say a
quick,
little bit about it.
quick.
Okay.
So I've actually been vegan for about 3 years now, and right now I'm on a journey of actually becoming more on the alkaline side. So this is my first week of actually detoxing completely and doing straight alkaline. So I'm excited for that journey of being able to take it to the next level of alkaline and incorporating that in my actual cooking and food products. However, yeah, with being vegan, I'll try to give a short story. So for me, I was having some health issues.
Mhm.
Um, and I had realized I was like, oh wow, okay, so I had went completely vegan when I was in California. And then when I came home, I started to indulge a little bit. So I had, my sister made vegetarian lasagna. So it still had like cheese in it.
Season.
But she, used like vegetables and stuff. So it was so good. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then she made me like something else that I might have had like some ice cream too. But then I started having some health issues. And then I was like, okay, well, let me just completely stop, because that's the only thing I had started doing different. And when I stopped, the issues went away. So I
Really?
said, let me test this out. So I indulged again and I started having the same issues again. And ever since then, I don't even dibble and dab in dairy at all.
Really?
Oh, yep.
Was it that you had an allergy to the dairy,
I
or?
don't think it's an allergy. I think it's more so because it wasn't an allergy type of medical issue. It was more
Oh,
so like a cyst that was being fed hormones
I see.
that started to cause it to grow. So,
Gotcha.
and as I started taking certain type of herbs where I was able to detox and cleanse my body and shed, which chickweed is a herb that also helps with like releasing cysts from the body. So once I did that and went back and got like an ultrasound and everything, I was able to see the difference. So I don't think it was anywhere near an allergy. I think it was just the hormones that was within the dairy products that I was eating was causing for cysts to grow in my body.
Okay. Now, were you eating consuming organic dairy products, or it didn't matter organic or not?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, my sister, well, now she doesn't even eat cheese and stuff anymore either. But at the time, we did follow a more organic, even down to the meat, with like having the organic chicken and all of those things. So yeah, it definitely was more on the organic side, but it's not even about it necessarily being organic. I feel it's more so just cheese is dairy,
Right.
and
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
we're all technically lactose intolerant.
Oh, well, this is true. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Or to say a lot of African Americans are, I don't like to lump everybody in the same pile, but yeah, you could say it is common in the African American community to be lactose intolerant, is what you're saying.
Mhm.
Um, and how that may, I don't know if it relates directly to causing the problems with the hormones or whatnot, or causing cysts, but I do get that point that you're making as well. So
Yeah.
had you always, so it sounds like you were in California, you were a vegan in California, you came back to Detroit and you started dabbling in the dairy and you noticed some cysts coming back. So was that your initial reason for becoming a vegan, or were you always a vegan? Did I miss something?
I wasn't always a vegan.
Oh,
So and I did already have cysts
I see.
before, but then I became vegan, but I became vegan off understanding the mucus once I started getting more into sea moss and I started understanding where the mucus was coming from.
Mhm.
I realized it was coming from dairy. So once I started doing the proper research and all of those things, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and go vegan.
Oh,
So
okay. Gotcha.
gave myself 30 days at first, and then after the 30 days, when I realized, when I seen the difference within myself, I just went
Right.
off. Well,
Okay, so I mean that's awesome. And that makes sense, it makes sense. So they say we are what we eat, and we are what we eat, and we are what we think as well too, right? I
yeah.
like the fact you got the mind body going on.
Mhm.
The mindfulness is important, as well as what we put in our body makes a difference. Even though I have to say there's this one sacred text that says it's not what goes into our body that makes us unclean. It's what comes out of our body that makes us unclean. But that's a whole different type of thinking, how our thoughts manifest into reality as we think. The sacred text also says, as a man thinketh, so is he. But that's a whole nother topic on mindfulness, right? So
Mhm.
so let's speaking of mindfulness, I guess at this point we should go ahead and segue into our talk about meditation and what you do as a meditation teacher. And I have to say that I was so impressed and I felt so good. I have to say this when we were working together with this wellness event for African American athletes, high school athletes. I was I was there while you were doing the meditation for them. And I just felt so good during the meditation. And my understanding of meditation, which we know is thousands of years old because it's as old as yoga is, and it's something, that's been around for a long time. But what I'm noticing now is that more and more young people are doing meditation or seeing the benefit and the value of meditation. And maybe not just young people, more and more people are realizing how important meditation is, and some of us that, grew up with prayer and meditation, we know the value of it. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start meditating yourself and inspired you to become a meditation teacher.
So actually around COVID time, so this was around 2020, is when during that time, the whole world was shut down. Right. So I was in a space to spend a lot of time with myself. So during that time, I actually started reading a book. It was called Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. And I had started a book club. Okay. So a group of young ladies, I had 2 sessions, and I worked with about, I would say maybe anywhere from 20 to 25 young ladies. And then because it would be maybe like 10 to 15 on each session. And we would just have dialogue about the book. And in the book, she talks a lot about meditation, going back to, like the Egyptian times, and just getting a better understanding on the benefits of it. Mm-hmm. So we started to meditate together. We were doing it like virtually. And honestly, that's kind of what kickstarted the meditation journey. And then from there, I realized I was having issues with concentrating during meditation and being in the present moment. So then I was introduced to, it's a young man named Londrell who has an app. In the app store is called Eternal Sunshine. And through the app, he has different meditation exercises for like different topics, it's so many different ones on there. So I like to look at him as like my mentor. So with that, I really utilized that platform to help with the guided meditation of things. And I realized when I had guided meditation, it was easier for me to actually stay focused on being in the present moment. And I was able to control my mind more during meditation and not drift off as much. Right. So now with all this time and with practice, I'm able to meditate and be in the present moment versus venturing off in my mind.
Nice. Yeah, I really love that, the idea, because you're right. A lot of people, including myself, when I started meditating or trying to meditate, you get distracted about this around what's going on around you, or you're thinking about what you did before you sat down and what you're going to do. And sometimes, just like you say, by yourself, just even focusing on your breath or focusing on music can help. But I think that a lot of people feel better when they're in a group setting, and you could really see how the guys that were there, the young men that were there, young athletes that were there, they really were able to really quiet their minds. They started out a little moving around and stuff, but just watching their faces, how you could tell they began to really quiet. So I was very impressed with that, and I love your style. I love you also use the vocals from the young man that you were saying that's your mentor.
Yes.
And I love the name Eternal Sunshine. So it was just because at first I was like, well, maybe I can go and do something or other, but I just became so relaxed, and I just felt I really felt I guess you could say this a love, almost a feeling of love just welling up in my heart. I don't know if you experienced that, but
Mhm.
it was really a great experience for me. So now you also do these meditations as you did at this special event. You are also available to do meditations at other events as well.
Mhm.
And so do you want to say a little bit about how is it the kind how people might want to contact you and
Sure.
yeah.
So every Sunday I have meditation in Southfield at the spa with Lika. So I'm here at Serenity 824 right now, actually. So every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. I do a meditation session. And within the meditation session, we start off with networking with the people who's there, the different entrepreneurs who come, which most of the time it is. But just so you can get to know people, see what other people's doing. So we network, and then from there we do some journal work. With the journal work, we do some brain dumping, releasing some of those things you might have to heal from. And then from there, we go into guided meditation. So um, the class is normally about 2 hours. So 6:30 to 8:30.
And this
I
is
have
you say every Sunday?
Sunday. The only one right now that is blocked off is Easter Sunday.
Oh, okay. And
Yep.
this is that and you want to at Lika
Yep.
Smith. She's the owner
Yep.
of the spa in
Yes.
Southfield. So we know um that now is this for anyone to attend or do you have to be invited?
Anybody is able to attend. So
Oh,
anybody open to attend. You do have to register on Eventbrite. It is $10. $10 for the entry. I encourage people to bring a journal as well as their yoga mat. If they do forget it, I do have them here for $5 rentals for the mats and then $5 journals. I charge for the journals and the mats because my goal is to get people to make it a habit to
right.
keep their yoga mat and
Mm,
to keep their journals because I feel like those are two important things on your healing journey, honestly. So,
mm,
yep. And then the address is 17515 West 9 Mile Road,
mhm,
Southfield, Michigan, 48075, and
mhm.
it's Suite 200.
Okay.
It is
Excellent.
limited. I only do up to 10 to 11 people. So it's a pretty limited space. So you gotta like get your tickets early.
Yeah, well, you do say you have to, so you just go to Eventbrite. I guess you have to have a sign in to Eventbrite and then just look for the event, or how do you?
You don't even have to have a sign in. You could just go. I'll send you over the link if you
Oh,
want to
okay.
enter the link in the bio once you drop this, and you'll be able to have it there, and they can just go through and they could buy it as a guest if they want to.
Oh,
Versus
okay.
they don't
Oh,
have an event right.
okay. All right, Chanel. Looks like we're at time because I know you've got a meeting in a couple minutes. So I want to thank you so much for being on the show today, on my podcast today. And I'm looking forward to scheduling when we can have you on and do our cooking demonstration. And come up with a nice, easy, I think we said Taco Tuesday maybe for vegan tacos. So
Yeah, Taco
yay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Woo, woo. Okay, so thanks again for being here. I will definitely be in touch with you. And I want to thank my guests for listening and watching. And please tune in every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for on Talk for TV, W4HC.com is the online radio show. If you missed the show, you can always go to Namaste Wellness on wherever you watch your podcast or whatever platform you're on. Other than that, thank you for being here. Until next time, stay safe, stay well. Namaste.
Namaste.